Hello and welcome to the Building Profit Sales Training YouTube channel. My name is Jamie Sargent, founder and CEO of Building Profit Sales Training. We're a sales training organisation that works with business owners and sales teams just like you all over the United Kingdom who are looking to increase their sales and actually have conversations that convert, but by making your sales process much more simple. No overcomplicated processes, long-winded systems. Keep it simple, close more sales. That's the aim of our game. Today, I just want to talk you through the 3 top things to help you stop being an anti-seller and start being a seller. Now, this might be a bit of a play on words, and clearly nobody wants to be the anti-seller. But did you know, by the way you deliver certain phrases and you deliver certain conversations, you are actually anti-selling your customers. And by anti-selling, I mean you're turning them off from buying from you. And that is not where we want to be. As a salesperson or as a business owner, we wanted to be working with customers who are looking to buy our products or services. We want to make sure that the fit for the product or service is there and that we can then convert the conversation to a close. So we're closing more sales. Okay, so guys, the first big anti-seller thing I see here people do in sales teams, business owners all over the country, they start conversations with, "Hey John, how's it going? How's the football? Do you see the weather? How's your kids? How's the grass over there?" Guys, this is a typical sales opener. Now, the problem with this is that if you're John, you've heard this opener, let's say he's 30 years of age, so since the age of 20 to 30, he's heard it for 10 years, approximately 300 times a year. So he has heard it multiple times. Okay, he's heard this opener so many times. John actually knows probably what you're going to say before you say it. Might not know the product or service, but he's going to know exactly that you're going to try and sell him or pitch him something. And this is where John will say, "Yeah, I've not got time. I haven't got time for it right now. We have that product, we have that service, we have a provider." And before you know it, that conversation is closed down, John is off the phone, and you've burnt an opportunity. Let's look at it in a real-time scenario. If you're in, for example, car sales, and a customer, husband and wife, walk into the showroom at the weekend, most salesmen will start with, "Hello, my name's, how can I help?" Well, you can't help. And then the salesman will probably say, or sales lady will probably say something like, "Let me know if you need anything." And John and Shirley will go wandering off onto the forecourt, and you'll never see them again unless they come back in, ask for a set of keys, test drive your car, and then go off to the dealership. And all they do is repeat the process because now they're shopping on price. So how do we stand out from the crowd? You need to start your openers with a much more standout kind of phrase. So some people like to use the pattern interrupts. Hey, this is a cold call. Hey, this is a sales call. Hey, this is an opportunity for me to tell you a little bit about us and understand whether we can work with you. Or simply, you start with something. If you're in the car showroom, for example, start with something like, "Hey, John, Shirley, just here to look around today?" Now, John and Shirley will not know how to respond to that initially because they're now going to engage their brain and actually think, "We are here just to look around." Yes, actually we are. That's what we are here to do. What you've got to do is then engage the customer's brain so that they're thinking outside the box and actually they're opening up to you because they don't realise what kind of conversation that you're starting. It's not the standard wall goes up, "Yeah, we're just going to go and look around your forecourt." And the same in any sales process. Opening lines, openers are key to standing out. A customer makes a decision about you, it's estimated in the first 3 seconds of a phone conversation. I think the first 7 seconds of a physical conversation. So if they're making that decision really quick, if you sound like everybody else, you look like everybody else. If you look like everybody else, you're going to get treated like everybody else. Be the professional that you are. So next, we've got that opener sorted. The next thing that in the anti-selling process that people do is they don't really know what to say. Now this can happen either after somebody says, "Oh, we've got a supplier," or this can happen during the follow-up process. This can pretty much happen anywhere along the sales process, but when people say, I don't really know what to say, then how is the customer going to have confidence in you? Now, what I want you to do is switch this on your head a little bit, and you need to be thinking about questions that draw out information. Of course they've got a supplier, and why would you not want to talk to them? Because they have a supplier, that means they already buy that product or service. That should ignite and excite you, not make you go all queasy inside and think, oh God, what do I say, what do I do? Oh, they've got a supplier, okay, they're never going to buy from us because we're 10 quid more expensive or whatever. They should excite you. Great. And let me ask you about that supplier. What do you think is going well with them at the moment? What we need to do is get the customer to open up, and they'll tell you everything that's going well. I can name you, they'll say your service is good, it turns up on time, and then you ask this question. And if there's one thing you could change about that supplier, what would it be? Because I guarantee 99 times out of 100, there'll be something that they want to change. Now, there is always that possibility that the customer is exceptionally happy, that they've used this one company for years, they know the company, and we sometimes just have to accept that's the case. That's it. If they know them, they're happy, and there's going to be no change, even if you could save them money. Sometimes you just have to go, thanks very much, really appreciate your time, and all the best with your supplier. If there's anything we can do for you, I'm going to just email you I'll text you my contact details. Anything we can ever do, just give me a call. That does happen from time to time, but we need to establish whether that's the fact or not. And to do that, we have to know what we're going to say next. Now, lots of people in the follow-up, when they follow up, is another time this happens. They'll ring up John and say, hey John, you came in to see that car the other day, or you came to look at that property the other day, or we've been talking to you for this length of time. I just want to know where you're up to. And John will say, I'm not up to anywhere, or I'm not ready yet, or I'm not committed yet, or whatever. Now, the buyer is stalling you, and they're stalling you because they know that's going to create in your mind a shift of, all right, okay, well, I'll get off the phone then, and I'm disturbing you and I'm bothering you, so we'll stop and we'll end that call and I'll call you back in a couple of weeks. So what we need to do firstly is figure out what it is we're going to say on every stage of our conversation. Now, not script word for word, so you're reading off a piece of paper, so you're sort of looking at your paper like, my name is. No, we don't want to know that. What we do want is bullet points and maybe some listed questions that can generate some information, some response, some interest from the buyer. We need to get them to open up, even if that's for them to say, no, it's not for me, I can't afford it, or it's not the right time, or actually we don't want it. That is a great response, as well as, yes, I'm ready to go. Yes, I can start in June this year. Is that okay with you? Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's move forward. We've got to bear in mind that you've got to know what to say at every single stage of your sales process. Now, of course, they will vary from person to person, buyer to buyer, business to business, business to consumer, but there will be a standard set of questions within your industry that can work to generate the inquiry and move the buyer forward. And by moving forward, just to reiterate, that can be moving them forward and completely out of your sales process if they aren't a qualified buyer, or that for whatever reason it isn't for them. Okay, that is still a step forward because you're clearing your pipeline up. Your pipeline only wants to have active, good quality leads inside. You don't want leads that are maybes, buts, 6 months, call me back in 6 months, and then they prolong for another 6. We don't want any of that. So get a script, get your top questions for each section, prospecting, initial disclosures, follow-ups, all the stages, quotations, the lot. Get your simple questions there and draw out the information that you need in order to move that person from B to C to D. And just practice this with your family or friends or your colleague at work. Just practice and get them to open up, and you'll see the change, the difference from a very closed question. And to make those questions stand out, who, what, where, when, why, how. Tell me, explain, describe. If you use those pronouns in front of your questions, you're away. And guys, finally, the last anti-seller thing to do, and this is probably the most frustrating for me as a sales trainer, but for business owners, for sales managers, probably for senior salespeople or junior salespeople, or even sometimes for the customer. we forget to ask for the business. So we'll go in and we'll do this amazing presentation. We'll tell you, you know, how great our company is, and we'll tell you how great your company is, and how actually working together we can solve problems X, Y, and Z. We can make you more money, we can get you better profits, we can give you better service, we can deliver the moon to your front door, you know, whatever it may be. And then we sort of sit there and go, okay. Now what you're presuming there is the buyer actually knows what the next step in your business is. And I want you to think about this. You know, if you go to Asda or Tesco's or any of the other major chains, you know exactly what the process is. You go in, you put your stuff in your trolley, you walk out, you go to the little self-serve tickets or the scanning machines or the cashier, present your card and you pay. Okay, that's because that is a process that's been designed, it's been laid out, and we've been trained to do it. You can't expect a buyer just to know what the process is to buy from you. So ask the question, you know, based off what you've seen here today and what we've discussed, how are you feeling about moving forward with us? And then stop and let the buyer talk. We have to let the buyer tell us how they're feeling about doing business with us. Great. Well, Mr. Buyer, the next steps for us to get moving forward with you are, and then whatever it may be. If you're selling cars, it might be we'll get the card machine for a deposit on the vehicle so we can secure that vehicle for you. Or we'll get the finance application prepared now so we secure that car for you. Or if you work in B2B sales, we'll get if you can get a purchase order raised and sent across to us, or we'll get you a contract sent over. Whatever it may be, just tell them. Don't presume that they know, just tell them. Even if every other person in your industry does it the same way, tell them. Because you might do it differently. Your conditions might be different. You know, one supplier might get paid on 90 days, you might want to be paid on 30 days. You've got to tell people exactly what it is. Don't become an anti-seller. Don't sell like you're trying to not sell. Sell like you actually want the business. You actually want to help people. You want to move people forward. You want to put them in that product or in that service, and you know that product or service is the right thing for them. Hand on heart, you know it's the exact right thing for somebody to do, to buy that product or service. It's going to benefit them, and you start with that focus. Do that today. It will make you different from 99% of the other people in the sales world. It'll make your sales more comfortable. It'll open up conversations that lead to conversions, and in turn more money in the bank, more commissions, more income for the business. Guys, it's really not too hard. It's just about thinking differently to the 99% of the rest of the world and the way they sell, and not just doing what everybody else does because that's what everybody else does, but actually doing something different that will make you stand out, and just having simple conversations that convert. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you watching this video. If it's been beneficial and it's been useful, please like, comment, share with your friends, share with your colleagues, and hopefully it's of benefit to them. And if you would like to subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Have a great afternoon, guys, and take care, and I'll see you soon.